Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. So, Feliz Año, or Prospero Año Nuevo. I hope you've had a great time over Christmas and New Year. Of course, if you live in Spain, you will know it's not over yet. So we've had like Dia de Navidad, we've had Noche Vieja and Feliz Año Nuevo, we've had our cava, we've had our grapes. And if you were British or living in Britain and probably a lot of other countries, that would be it now. Not in Spain. We've got another week of all this to go because we've got the Reyes to come. The Day of the Kings, the Epiphany, the Epiphania. Because in Spain, as in a lot of Latin American countries also, the big Christmas day is the 6th of January, which is supposedly when the three wise men, of course, brought um, the gifts for Jesus. So, not the day that Jesus was born that is celebrated and gifts exchanged so much in Spain. It's the actual day that the three wise men, or Los Reyes Magos, they're called in Spanish, went to see Jesus and took the traditional Christmas gifts. um, okay, so that's it. So what do we do in Spain? And I think even now, I've noticed since I've lived in Spain, which is 25 years, 25 años, long time, things have changed. I mean, when I first came here, on the actual day of the 25th, you wouldn't even know the build up. There wouldn't be presents in the shops. So it just wasn't hyped at all. Now it is as well, but I think still the big day is the 6th of January, and schools don't go back until after the 6th of January. So, yeah, what do they do, or what is the tradition? So what will be happening now is the children, yes, like that naughty list will be drawn up, but it's very similar as the one that we do with Santa, but this is the Reyes. So you leave your letter for the Reyes to tell them what you'd like to have, and depending on if you've been good or bad is the presents that you'll get. Spanish children will shine their shoes the night before Christmas and leave them on the doorstep or the windowsill or wherever they leave them. And if they've been good, their presents will be left. And if they've been bad, carbon or coal, as it would have been once, but now you buy, it's like, gosh, I don't even know what you call it in English, like what's in a crunchy. Honeycomb sort of type thing that you can buy in the supermarkets in little bags and things as if it's coal. That's what they get if they've been naughty. If they've been good, they get the presents that they've put on their list. Now, of course, so the kings arrive the night before, the 5th of January. That's when the kings arrive in your pueblo. It's not like Santa where they come in the night and then you wake up and you do see the kings. Well, I suppose you do see Santa in the lead up to Christmas. And there's, as I nearly always say in these videos, as far as celebrations are concerned, processions, cabalgatas as they're called, depends if you're in a big town or a little village or a big city as to how fantastic or not they are. They're always fantastic, even if you're in a little pueblo, they're still fantastic, but obviously it's not the same watching a procession in a little town like mine in San Miguel as it would be in Sevilla or in Madrid, or and I know that in Barcelona, one year I saw it on a video. I've never been, but the kings sort of were like these electronic carriages or sleighs that they came on. I mean, it was fantastic, so there really is a big effort, even in the little towns, a big effort put into these processions. And the kings arrive and they throw out sweets to all the children, sometimes presents as well, again, depends. But you have to fight the grannies for the sweets because all the little grannies are there with carrier bags trying to get all the sweets for their grandchildren, I presume, or for themselves. And they're they're quite tough with it, let's say, tiny little grannies like batting people out of the way for the sweets. But yeah, it's good fun. Like all the processions in Spain, it's good fun. You know, it's a nice atmosphere, and it's nice to see. Now, so what happens after that? The processions, I suppose the kings supposedly go at Los Reyes, go back to get all the presents to distribute for the children. And then the next morning, um, you've either got your presents or you're not. Depends if you've been a good girl or a bad girl, or a good boy or a bad boy. Anyway, and another big tradition of Los Reyes, which you've probably seen in the supermarkets, is El Roscon del Reyes. So it's this great big cake. It's like a donut shape. This is a freshly baked one, so I'm hoping that it's going to be really nice. And it has got a filling. It's got a cream filling, but you can get them with no filling. Put your own filling in. You can get them with custard in there. You can get them with a chocolatey filling. You can get all different ones. And basically, this is the traditional cake of New Year, and it's got like candied fruits around it, etc. And there's lots of little figures in there, or is there just one figure? I think there's one figure, the king. If you get the king in your slice, you get the hat. You can wear the hat. You've got the look for the rest of the year. You are like the king for that day. So in somewhere in this cake, there's a little figure of a king, and if you happen to get it in your slice, that is very good luck. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So if you want to celebrate the Reyes in the Spanish way, because of course it's a lot for us because we've already gone, big on Christmas, on New Year, etc. It's a lot to buy presents at Christmas and then more presents at New Year, not New Year, Los Reyes. But what I always used to do was I would just save a couple of presents. So obviously I would give my son these main presents on Christmas Day. But then for the Reyes, because I didn't want him to feel left out because a lot of his Spanish friends, etc., they'd all be getting their presents on that day. I would make sure there was a couple of presents saved for him to have on actually on the Epiphany, which is on the 6th. And I'm just having a look at this, see if it's got any particular instructions. I don't think so. I don't think there's any instructions, or I don't think there's any particular thing you have to do with it. Just cut it in half or cut it in slices and enjoy it. So what are you going to do? Are you going to celebrate it this year? Are you going to go and see a procession? Let me know in comments. I'd be interested to know. Well, another interesting thing is if you do go and see a procession, of course there are, I can't remember the names of the kings, it's Melchior, Balzavar and another one. And one of the kings, of course, is a person of colour, if you like. You will see blacked up kings. So if that you find that offensive, it's probably not a good idea to go, because there will be one of the kings is blacked up, and there's no sort of qualms about that. So just a word of warning, because some people are sensitive to that, I know, and rightly so. Okay, so, but it's a fantastic thing. It's just, I think nobody does fiesta. I mean, I've been here a long time and I've been to see most of the fiestas, and they are all sort of always the same, and I'm a little bit blasé about them now, but I know they are fantastic. The fiestas, nobody does fiestas like the Spanish, except maybe the Latin American countries. They just really go for it. As I say, even through the recession, even, with COVID, as much as they could do it, these events are very important in the culture of the Spanish people, extremely important. So, they always, no matter how big or small the town is, they put as much into it as they can. Okay, so yeah, let me know what you do. If you try the Roscon del Reyes or de los Reyes, or if you go to see a cabalgata, a procession, let me know. And then finally, after the 6th, everything is back to normal in Spain till the next fiesta. I always thought it was a bit unfair because it's like the 6th, and this year the 6th is on, I can't remember what day, I think it's a Thursday or something like that. So they've got a few days until the Monday, which is the 9th, when they go back to school, etc. But sometimes, you know, if the Reyes is on a Monday and the 6th is on a Monday, they're back at school on the Tuesday. So they don't get time to enjoy their presents, you know, before they actually go back to school, which seems a shame to me. But, you know, it's long enough, to be honest. As a parent, you're normally quite glad to see your children go back to school by then, as much as you might love them. Okay, so thank you. So I hope I've done a couple of videos about Christmas, how Christmas is celebrated, how New Year is celebrated, and now Los Reyes. I hope you've had a fantastic holiday season and enjoyed all the, if you live in Spain, enjoyed all these different celebrations. But now we're back to normal in the new year, and como siempre, te veo muy pronto en el próximo video y hasta entonces, que tu Dios vaya contigo.